All right, so joining this game in progress. This one went really fast. Rodney won game number 1 off of a quick combo kill with World Gorger Dragon. And here we are in game 2, and he is unmasking on turn 2, seeing Force of Will and some other options. Animate Dead, and he takes it out in short order. So this match over before we can even record it. I'm ELD, this is Fast Effect, and that was way too fast. I am going to actually pull up the next match here, so bear with me on the technical side here. So wow, that was an incredibly fast match in round number 2 there. Rodney with plenty of time to scout the room, and we are moving into Arnie and Blue-Red Delver versus Rodney. Whew, you gotta be careful of this deck. It is Black-Red Reanimator. However, it has the World Gorger Dragon kill, which makes it actually close out the games a lot faster. You're not passing the turn, chipping away, swinging with things like Gristlebrand. Your opponent can't top deck things like Ancient Grudge or, Abrupt Decay after you've already comboed and put you in an awkward spot. It closes out the game. It does an infinite combo, and it wraps it all up. So for those unfamiliar, World Gorger Dragon, when it's brought back with Animate Dead style effects, comes into the battlefield, enters the battlefield, exiles all your other permanents, including the Animate, which kills the World Gorger. Then that brings back all your permanents, including the Animate. That brings back the World Gorger, and you see we've created a loop there. Every time you can tap your lands for mana, creating infinite mana, or you have Sunscorched Desert or Piranha Marsh, as Rodney just played, to ping your opponent one at a time on every loop. Arnie here starting out with Blue-Red Delver. Delver has flipped. Chain Lightning being fired off in this game. So far, a little bit slower, in part to that Piranha Marsh. Looks like he just has a couple of cards in hand. Maybe 3. Delver swings in again. It is a clock. That is what you need here. You cannot give this deck all day to play around. It is trying to win as quickly as possible. But if given time, it will actually get there. And he's going to go ahead and grab the World Gorger Dragon. Fetching a Blood Crypt, which is a terrible card in this deck. This deck is literally suboptimal. Faithless Looting happening. Rodney entombing beforehand, I guess just thinning the deck out a little bit. He does not want to draw and discard that World Gorger. He would rather it already be in the graveyard. Blue-Red Delver. Very interesting choice in the meta. Does stack up very well versus Death Shadow. Going down to 8, Rodney, 3 more turns. And starting out with an Unmask. This could be bad news. Seeing a couple of days, a Delver, True Name. Rodney fetches out a basic Swamp. The coast is clear, Dance of the Dead. And that is a wrap. So very, very different in that game. We got to see the power there versus traditional Reanimator. The best case scenario there would have been what? A Gristlebrand, I guess, a potentially 6 power lifelinker. Give the turn back to your opponent. They can brainstorm into some burn, and the game is over. So Dragon closing the door immediately there. He enters the battlefield. Piranha Marsh starts flickering in and out of existence, pinging Arnie all the way down to 0. So that is a good example of the percentage points that this deck picks up over traditional Reanimator. Of course, Gristlebrand would have been kind of like a best case scenario. Something like Elesh Norn would be in the other Reanimator decks, and what are you going to do? Sit around for 5 more turns and hope that your opponent doesn't find a way to kill you or get rid of your Elesh Norn? This really does close things out. It's already a very high risk-reward ratio deck. You're taking significant risks in order for massive rewards, and this really just ratchets it up to 11. You are playing a creature in Worldgorger Dragon that if they have a Swords to Plowshares, they can Swords the Dragon in response, and you lose everything, all of your permanents. Worldgorger, your permanents are not coming back, and the reason for that is you stack it. So you have your return the permanents on the battlefield on top of your exile. So exile all your permanents, goes on the stack, respond, Swords to Plowshares, the return the permanents happens, and then you let that original trigger resolve, exiling all other permanents. So it is literally all in. You are losing everything if they have a Swords, but if you're able to play well, for the most part, you just treat it like another counter, and you don't walk into counters. You just find a way to get rid of everything from their hand with discard. And if you do need to bait, counter spells or removal from their hand, hopefully you can target Gristlebrand, and that'll be fine. It's going to allow you to draw some cards, and then potentially Cabal Therapy, sacrifice Gristlebrand, and finish the deal. So Arnie here with his full art Monastery Swift Spear coming in for just 1. Rodney, draw, discard. Gristlebrand in the graveyard. Rodney not afraid to make that play. Really doesn't have too much of a problem drawing up to 8 and then discarding. And now this is looking pretty bad. Swift Spear continuing to chip away. Gristlebrand in the graveyard. Some unknown cards in Arnie's hand. Gemstone Mine. Nice thing about Gemstone in this deck is it does reset the counters when you got Worldgorger Dragon. Fetch 1, fetch 2, couple of basic swamps here. So trying to perhaps play around the Wasteland. Or multiple Wastelands. Let's see what happens here. Dark Ritual being pitched to unmask. Are the shields down after this unmask resolves? Got Fire Blast, Daze, and an unknown card off camera there. Was Force of Will and Dance of the Dead on Gristlebrand. He is going to come in tapped. As a 8/8. Dance gives +1/+1. There's another Delver. You'll have to pay the 2 to untap it. So Dance, not really the way that you usually win here, but we can see that Rodney fetching out those basic swamps to ensure that he can untap Gristlebrand each turn. That is going to be what he spends his mana on. It looks like he may just want to close this out with a couple of swings. The alternative is he could draw 7 at some point. Grafdigger's Cage, just too late. I mean, that is not where you want to be. And easily outracing these threats. Delver yet to flip. Swift Spear, not a lot of spells backing it up. So really just chipping away. And Rodney says, I could just win next turn, but, you know, let's draw some cards now. So he is unmasking. Marsh comes in. Rodney pumping the brakes. Delver finally flips and has to sit back, so that's going to be able to block Griselbrand. But it looks like the alternative win condition has been found here. Ruled Gorger is in the graveyard. Swing, block, 8 gained, and he can draw quite a few cards here. And he declines to. Interesting. So that is it for Arnie. He packs it up. Griselbrand would take it down on the next swing. And World Gorger Dragon splits the games there with Griselbrand, each guy getting 1 win apiece. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.